Hey everyone, it's your girl Iman the Original with another episode of Loud Conversation, Weed, Art, and Politics coming to you live. So today we're going to do something a little different in this episode. I'll be narrating Volume 2 of our magazine, our online publication, Loud Conversation, Weed, Art, and Politics. This issue will talk about how weed can enhance our creativity and calm at Beyonce's latest single, Break My Soul, off her 7th studio album, Renaissance, which samples Big Freedia, and how it is helping me in my healing process. And last but not least, natural gas versus nature, and my take on what we should be doing to promote a greener and cleaner earth via nuclear energy. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with the letter to you guys, our subscribers. And if you want to read along with me in this journey, then you could go ahead and do that by clicking the link in my bio on my Instagram, which is at Iman the Original. Click that link in my bio at Iman the Original on Instagram, and you will have Volume 2 of Loud Conversation. Once you see it, click that link and you could follow with me, or you could download the PDF. Let's get into it. Hey, I really appreciate you stopping by. Welcome to Volume 2 of Loud Conversation. I was extremely pleased with Volume 1, as I hope you were as well. It being my first magazine and all. If you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, please do. Life has been a blur of question marks over the past 2 years, as everything that we had once known as normal is no more. Even society's attempt at going back to normal seems laughable, don't you think? After being locked down in our homes, watching thousands of people die on a daily basis, the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, the uprisings that followed, it was like one really wild summer vacation, and the teachers want us to settle down now after coming back to school. And it's like, nah, teachers, I can't keep calm because I'm still trying to recover from what has happened and what is still currently going on. Like the fact that we are still in this pandemic, and in the midst of the pandemic, Russia, aka Putin, neo-Nazis' genocide invasion on Ukraine is threatening the world's food supply, while also putting us on the verge of another world war. Shout out to you, Putin, for that. You are not the humanitarian of the year. Thank you very much. Anywho, so excuse me if I cannot keep calm right now and act like everything is back to normal while churches, schools, and grocery stores are being shot up every week. I'm actually questioning life as it exists collectively, and my life as an individual, asking myself things like, why do I exist? Specifically in this moment, what is my purpose? I can't go back to being an ignorant robot cog in the machine of greed and power, as biological warfare runs rampant and there are people still sleeping on the street. It's kind of hard for me to pay attention to the foolishness of the world right now. I need brain stimulation and discussions on science, the arts, philosophy, and history right now. Not continuing the same old, as Jean Michel would say. I need innovation, and I officially resign from my position as an ignorant pawn when I am clearly meant for more. So anyway, this volume we will be invoking some new thoughts to help assist you on your newfound journey, as I know I am not alone on this. Enjoy. Now, let's get into the weed section of this loud conversation. We live in a very high anxiety society. I mean, again, let us ponder on the last few years. Having that time to kind of reflect, I say kind of because many were still operating as normal. Meetings were replaced with Zoom calls, and intrusive bosses were now invited into living rooms as opposed to cubicles. We have had time to figure out what is and is not working for us individually and collectively. I can say with confidence that the overwhelming response to our old way of being is no longer the popular choice for the collective. Many people want to ditch the fast-paced, high-anxiety living for a more sustainable, natural, and human way of functioning. But in order to get from here to there, as Abraham Hicks would say, we must begin to develop revolutionary solutions that will eradicate the old ways of thinking and functioning and give birth to new ways of thinking and being. These solutions will take high, pun intended, levels of creativity. High levels of creativity. What comes to mind? For me, it's weed. And if you are a subscriber of Loud Conversation, I believe for you it would be weed as well. So let's get into it. Let's get into the science of things, because it's no longer standard enough for us creatives to say that weed makes us more creative when it is clear that it does. We must prove it with science. No biggie, because the most scientific minds actually happen to be the most creative. And although the system may want to stifle the science behind the creative uses of cannabis, I wonder why. We know there are scientists that travel the galaxies and their only spacecraft happens to be their bong. But anyway, to design a society where creative solutions are welcome to combat centuries of oppressive and fear-mongering thought processes have been allowed, we must unlock the tools to design a society where creative solutions are welcome to combat centuries of oppressive and fear-mongering thought processes which have been allowed. We must unlock the tools that are hidden in plain sight for us to use, which will enable us to tap into that creative side of our minds. As a sustainable designer, I love pondering on the way the earth, the most natural mother we know, has been designed. We can find a solution for every problem we face on earth. Mother said, after centuries of patriarchal society that has ravished my loins and has sent me into self-healing mode, you into great confusion and despair, do not forget, children, that I have given you an herb that will assist you on the journey to develop creative solutions to fix these very problems. Weed, cannabis, marijuana, herb, etc. In my scientific research, these are my findings. And if you are an avid weed smoker who does research these findings, should just be a review on your knowledge, because it's just basic stuff, guys. Now, weed contains THC. THC affects the neurotransmitter dopamine. Dopamine is the neurotransmitter that affects our calm, happiness, etc. The more dopamine release, the more of a cool, calm, and relaxed state we are in. Now, when is it the best time to actually create and or think creatively? I would think, matter of fact, let's cut the shit. The best way to be able to think most creatively and, in my opinion, most effectively is when you are in this type of relaxed state. When you are not boggled down by the rigid and controlling thought processes of society. When you are able to tap into your best mind, your abstract mind, and pull out solutions that may not have been thought on solutions that only you can come up with due to your unique life experience. Sorry, system, but we are not all created the same. We all have very unique experiences, and creative thought is the only way that will and can save us from the problems that we are facing today. Is that why weed has been stigmatized so much in the past? And we are still fighting for the freedom to use the herb without being deemed as a criminal activity? Because the system knows the power that it can unlock in our minds, as we have the ability to think freely and creatively, that we will no longer be bogged down to this one-sided fear-mongering society. Dare I say, we might begin to think outside the box of the constraints of this system, tearing down the walls that were built to keep us contained in as pawns and mere cogs to the machine that suppress our free will and paralyzes us with fear and the inability to even believe there could be another way of existence? You get all that from weed? Yeah, I do. You smoke and you don't? Why do people say that they use weed to escape? Why do people become addicted to it? What is it that they are attempting to escape from? I believe it is the precise list stated above. Humans are tired of being controlled by a system that seeks only to use them up for their energy. They are tired of feeling hopeless, so at least their high gives them a sense of euphoria that they deserve as human beings. So let's pull it all together. If we fully fight for the destigmatization and decriminalization of weed, which dare I say affects the most oppressed people groups, Black and brown communities, who of course would use a substance to escape from their reality of being the most oppressed, who would not want to escape from the reality of being a modern day slave. But that's for another day. Anyway, if we fully fight for the destigmatization and decriminalization of the herb, the plant, the flower known as marijuana, and truly unlock and utilize it for its benefits right now in a society that so desperately needs to have creative and free thought for tangible solutions to centuries worth of problems, we would be in a better state. Science must be used in this hour to assist in this process. Science was used to tell half-truths about marijuana. If we begin to use it to tell the whole story of how marijuana can be used, we would be in a much better state. As with all things, there must be balance. We must use balance to navigate anything. We should see which strains work best for each person, what dosage is best for the person to function at the level that is best for what they desire in their lives. What are their needs? And most importantly, we should allow the creatives, the thinkers, and the scientists to utilize the herb as necessary so that we can build a society that would be free from the ills that most use marijuana to escape from. In conclusion, weed is not problematic. What is problematic is the system that criminalizes a plant that can be used for creative thinking and functioning. What's problematic is a system that creates the ailments of today's society and wants to erase the beings and tools that could assist in the undoings of this society. What are your thoughts? So guys, that was our weed section. I hope you enjoyed that section. And now we are going to get into our art section. Ow. Remember, if you want to follow along with the narration, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Iman the Original. Follow me on Instagram at Iman the Original. And click that link in my bio and you'll see the option to view and to download Loud Conversation Volume 2. It's the July edition. So now, like we said, we're going to get into art. And you better download it because then you'll be able to see this beautiful artwork of the art we're about to discuss. We have a beautiful collage of Queen Bee herself and the Queen Diva, Big Frida. You already know. So yes, let's get into that right now. So actually, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this off and then we're going to get into our art section in the next episode. So tap in and tune in later. I hope you enjoyed that weed section and let's get into art. Thank you guys for listening, and remember to subscribe to my page at Iman the Original. Peace.